ball game, man. It's time to go. Nate as sweet as these motherfucking goldfish.
This is Daedae. The Charlotte, North Carolina native used to be a barber before he was discovered by the next chapter. Despite losing to Kel, his game was so impressive that he ended up getting signed to the channel. His unique playstyle has prompted me to scout the strengths and weaknesses in his one-on-one game, with the hope of helping out his next opponent. If he pays attention, he could avoid ending up like this guy. For this video, I analyzed 6 of Daedae's one-on-one games. He had wins against Nate, Bino, and some random Kansas D1 guy, and took L's against Rob, Moon, and Eli Carter. And across these 6 games, one thing in particular stood out. Daedae is relentless on defense. The stats back this claim up as well. Across the 6 games, he averaged 3.5 steals and 1.5 blocks per game, with a ridiculous 7 steals each against Eli and Moon. He has pretty long arms for a guy that's only 6 feet tall, and his wingspan allows him to contest and sometimes even block jump shots on the perimeter. But the defensive stats don't even tell the full story. Even when he gets beat, he's able to recover quickly and alter the play. And what I appreciate the most about his defense is that he's not scared to get dropped. As I said on this channel before, a lot of players on YouTube simply are too scared to play D because they don't want to get embarrassed and end up on a highlight. But ironically, the guys who do get dropped are almost always the best defenders. Because when you're going up against a guy who doesn't care if he looks bad, he's gonna give you problems all night.
Top of me, we gonna pull it out. Might trip and stumble, but I will not fall.
On offense, Daedae is at his best when he's able to get downhill and attack the basket. On drives, he has 2 go-to moves he likes to use to beat his defender. The first is an in-and-out move going right. When performing the move, he uses a great change of pace along with a slight hesitation to freeze his defender in place before continuing his dribble. His second go-to move is a hezi he likes to do going left. I've talked extensively about the hezi in other videos, but essentially the move puts defenders in no man's land. If you don't play up to defend the potential shot, Daedae has a wide open jumper. But if you bite too hard on the fake, which is what usually happens, Daedae gets a clear lane to the rim. I haven't got to weaknesses yet, but for a spoiler, just make sure to stay down on his hezi. You can't fall asleep and give him what he wants, which is to get to the rim. Moving on to weaknesses, there is one glaring weakness in Daedae's game.
Oh my God, he hasn't made a free throw all day. Oh! What you gonna do?
Outside of Flight and Kenny, he's probably the worst shooter I've scouted so far. And in a game that usually comes down to hitting shots, it's pretty hard to win when you can't shoot. Aww. In the 6 games I scouted, Daedae shot 31% from 3 overall, which doesn't sound too bad until you actually watch the games. The problem for Daedae is that he's missing completely wide open shots, which does a couple of things. One, it allows his defender to completely rest on the defensive end, so while Daedae is going 100% on both sides of the ball, his defender is conserving energy. And 2, and probably more importantly, all the open misses really start to get in his head. And all of a sudden, Daedae is missing mid-range jumpers he can typically make, and now he's passing up on open looks, and now he's just rattled. And on top of all that, while Daedae can't make an open jumper, he's often going against guys that are elite shooters, and they're shooting better on contested shots than he is on wide open ones. When you take this into consideration, it's no wonder that he can get blown out by a guy like Rob when he's hot.
Ball in the goal. These young bloods have to understand that this game has always been and will always be about buckets.
Overall, I have Daedae ranked as a YouTube All-Star on my one-on-one tier list, right in front of T-Jazz. He's one of the best defenders on the platform, and anyone who continues to play with a broken nose obviously loves the game. Like B. Ellis, I don't think he's really a one-on-one player, and in a team setting I'd have him ranked much higher. But in ones, it's really hard to consistently win against good competition when you can't hit open jumpers, even if you're an elite defender. Still, he's one of my favorite players to watch on the next chapter, and if he ever gets his jumper to J-Lu or Cam's level, I'll definitely bump him up a tier. Let me know what you guys think about his game, and comment below who I should scout next.
Kel knew a little something y'all don't know. I just flew down like 2 weeks ago and put the whipping on him in his city. Kel know I got that bag, so you see how quick he chose me.